The National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, bans recipients of federal funding from using telecom equipment, video recording services, and networking components made by a number of Chinese companies, including Huawei and ZTE. U.S. academic institutions are responding, like the University of California, San Diego, which told CGTN it had enacted a 6-month moratorium on Chinese audio-video equipment providers on that list, and that an extension of the freeze will be reviewed in February. The University of California at Berkeley removed a Huawei video conferencing system.
You did have to remove a video conferencing setup.
We didn't have to. We elected to remove a piece of equipment to make sure. We also always want to err on the side of caution. There was a directive having to do with certain sorts of hardware. We had hardware at an off-campus location and decided to remove it.
The NDAA also calls for creating regulations to limit research partnerships with Chinese companies. And in June, members of Congress sent a letter to Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos due to concerns about espionage related to Huawei's research partnerships with over 50 U.S. universities. The White House has also cited artificial intelligence research at UC Berkeley involving Huawei as a potential security risk.
Huawei and its U.S. subsidiary FutureWay have supported UC Berkeley research programs since 2012, providing $7.8 million in funding over the past 2 years. But UC Berkeley spokesperson Dan Mogulof emphasizes that those are membership agreements, where Huawei participates along with other members and has shared rights with those programs.
They're not licensing exclusive intellectual property. They don't have exclusive rights to anything. They're simply, if you will, can imagine it, sitting around the table with other corporations who are involved in these same areas, who are interested in the work we do. But what is really important to understand is that even if a particular company isn't sitting around that table, they would still have access to the results of our research because it's all going to be published.
Berkeley is far from being alone. A Reuters report cites Stanford University as having undergone a scrub of its campus, but finding no offending equipment. Stanford also has research programs with Huawei involvement.
Turning down research funding could retard the rate of research progress. There's no question about that. I know that the new changes in the foreign investment review process in the United States, which are limiting the nature of Chinese investments, that's a major concern in Silicon Valley, that it may, that a lot of the venture funding that Silicon Valley relies on, especially for small companies, may be cut off by some of these rules. So there's a real trade-off there.
Sykes says if U.S. policies continue to grow more restrictive, there could be another undesirable trade-off. Chinese companies taking their research dollars to universities in other more welcoming countries. Mark New, CGTN, Stanford, California.